Hey, look at me. So I had a wife, beautiful, like you, who tells me I worry too much, who tells me I gotta smile more, who gambles, gets in deep with the sharks. Hey, one day they carve her face. We have no money for surgeries. She can't take it. I just want to see her smile again. I just want her to know I don't care about the scars. So, I put a razor in my mouth and do this to myself. And you know what? She can't stand the sight of me. She leaves. Now I see the funny side. Now I'm always smiling.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sir Tobias is nothing. Sir Tobias was raped, but that's nothing. She was cut, bruised, terrorized, and that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that's nothing. It may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias, and I don't believe that it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now, you saw Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially sensitive? Especially observant? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourselves, of course, this man would notice things that other people wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something that those three men didn't see? The whole time that Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine, the others didn't know? Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may be, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to silently watch a rape. But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to induce, to encourage, to entreat, to persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down. Stick it to her. Make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted the others on, made sure Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now, tell me, is that nothing?
I finally did it. I finally beat you. And all I had to do was not reveal my evil plan. Why do we villains always do that? Why do we have this strange need to tell you all of our most devious plots before we do them? I mean, that always gives you that last-minute save, that last-minute effort that gets you through. Or perhaps we reveal some flaw in our plan that you're able to exploit. But not this time. This time, I kill first, and I gloat later. This is so much better. Now I get to brag. And bragging is so much better than revealing my plan. Oh, goody. Now it's time for my victory dance, Dad. Yes. Staring over your lifeless body. Now I'm wondering, what am I gonna do next? Because now I'm just bored. Maybe I should see what's on Netflix.
I was thinking about a story from the Bible. I'm not a religious man, but I've read bits and pieces over the years. Curiosity more than faith. In this one story, there was a man. He was traveling from Jericho to Jerusalem when he was set upon by men of ill intent. They stripped the traveler of his clothes, they beat him, and they left him bleeding in the dirt. A priest happened by, saw the traveler, and crossed to the other side of the road and continued on. Next, a Levite, a religious functionary, came to the place, saw the dying traveler, but he too crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. But then came a man from Samaria, a Samaritan, a good man. He saw the traveler bleeding in the road and stopped to aid him without thinking about the circumstances or the difficulty it might bring him. He tended to the traveler's wounds, applying oil and wine. He carried him to an inn and gave him all the money he had for the manager to take care of the traveler. He did this simply because the man was his neighbor. He loved his city and all the people in it. I always thought I was the Samaritan in that story. It's funny, isn't it, how even the best of men are deceived by their own true nature? I am not the Samaritan. I am not the priest or the Levite. I am the ill intent who set upon the traveler on a road he should not have been on.
I'm gonna say this now, so I don't have you boys coming knocking in my tent all night. I know they're coming in the morning. And I know they're bringing boys bigger than ours and guns bigger than ours and a mind to take the ones we got. But let me ask you this. Do I look afraid? I have ridden with you boys through 7 sovereign nations on 8 continents. I have fought with you boys through 2 wars and 8 deaths. Do I look afraid? I have seen you all at your best, and I have seen you all at your worst. So believe me when I tell you, I am terrified. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. But when we look up on that hill tomorrow morning and we see those boys, we will turn that shack to the edge of the earth. We will bar every door, flip every table. When we run out of bullets, we'll tape bottles to our knuckles and claw their eyes out like the goddamn Wolverines we are. And if we're surrounded, beg for mercy. But if they surrender, slaughter them. Because none of you have my permission to die.
But then in March, last year, the school had a sponsored swim. The kids were going to swim in the pool, and I promised I was going to watch her, but I was late coming out of work, and I was only going to be there in time to meet her after, but when I got there, there was an ambulance, and I thought, the pool is in the central medial clinic, so I thought it was somebody being dropped there. I didn't really pay it any attention, but when I got in, there was no one in the pool, and one of the teachers was there with a group of kids, and she was crying, and some of the children were crying. And this woman, another one of the mums, came over and said that there had been an accident, and Niamh had hit her head in the pool, and she'd been in the water. They'd been trying to resuscitate her, but she said she was going to be all right. And I didn't believe this was happening. I thought it must be someone else. And I was brought into a room, and Niamh was there on a table. It was a table for table tennis. And the ambulance man was giving her the kiss of life. She was in her bathing suit, and the ambulance man said he didn't think what he was doing was working. He didn't know if she was alive, so they wrapped her in a towel, carried her to the back of the ambulance, and I got in the back with them. And they radioed on ahead. They were going to try put her on a machine in Beaumont, try resuscitate her there, but the ambulance man knew, I think. She wasn't breathing, and he just knew, and he said if I wanted to say goodbye to her in the ambulance, in case I didn't get a chance in the hospital. So I gave her a little hug. She was freezing cold. And I told her Mammy loved her very much. She just looked asleep. But her lips had gone blue. And she was dead. And it happened so fast. Just a few minutes.
Finally, the day of reckoning had come. Robert Baratheon marched on the city after his victory at Trident. But my father got there first, with the entire Lannister army at his back, promising to defend the city against the rebels. But I knew my father better than that. He was never one to choose the losing side. I told the Mad King that much. I urged him to surrender peacefully. But he didn't listen to me. And he didn't listen to Varys, who tried to warn him. But he did listen to Grand Maester Pycelle, that grey sunken cunt. You can trust the Lannisters, he said. The Lannisters have always been friends of the crown. So we opened the gates and my father sacked the city. Once again I came to the king. I pleaded with him to surrender. He told me to bring him my father's head. Then he turned to his pyromancer. Burn them all, he said. Burn them all in their homes. Burn them all in their beds. Tell me, if your precious Renly had commanded you to kill your father and then stand by as thousands of men, women, and children burned alive, would you have done it? Would you have kept your oath then? First I killed the pyromancer, and then, as the king turned to flee, I drove my sword into his back. Burn them all, he kept saying. Burn them all. I don't think he expected to die. I think he meant to burn with the rest of us and rise again, reborn a dragon, to turn his enemies into ash. And that's when I slit his throat. To make sure that didn't happen. And that's when Ned Stark found me.
They fucking jerked him, man. They sent me his finger in the fucking envelope, man. All bloody and shit. I don't know what to do, eh? I don't. I feel naked out here. Thinking about how they got Sonny. Some abandoned building. In some basement. Just fucking bleeding, man. He's dying, man. They killing my little man, B. I'm about to be on some real murder shit, eh? Fucking telling you, man. Anybody that ever looked at me wrong, owes me money, or ever said any jealous bullshit is fucking dead. You understand what I'm telling you, eh? They're fucking dead, man. I don't give a fuck about shit anymore, man. I need my little man back, B. I need him back, man. I'm dead out here. I can't function, man. I can't be.
So you think this has nothing to do with you? You go to your closet and you pick up that lumpy blue sweater you're wearing, for instance, because you want to tell the world that you take yourself so seriously that you don't even care what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that sweater, it isn't even blue. It isn't turquoise, and it isn't lapis. It's actually cerulean. You're also blithely unaware of the fact that in 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns, and I believe it was Yes de Laurent that did a collection of cerulean military jackets, and then cerulean shot onto the shelves of 8 different designers. Then it found its way into the department stores, and eventually it trickled its way down to the casual corner, where you no doubt picked that out of some clearance bin. However, that blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs. It's kind of comical that you believe that you have made a decision that exempts you from the fashion industry, when in all actuality, you're wearing a sweater that was picked out just for you by the people in this very room from a pile of stuff.
This sound woke me up. Sounded like a small animal being trapped or something. Never heard a man cry. When I walked into the kitchen and saw my father, all I could remember was the ashtray. Must have been like 100 cigarettes in there. Ash like a mountain. When he stopped crying, he just sat there. I think he didn't know what else to do. He saw me and he just goes, "Your mother left. She's not coming back." Just like that. The year before, we lost our dog, and I wanted to make these posters so that, when someone could call us if she was lost, like the guy who found our dog. But to this day, my father will sit there and tell you that he helped me make those posters. But he didn't. He sat there and he drank beer. And then I went out by myself on School Street asking people if they seen my mother. Her name was Doris McCrae, by the way. And her mother lived in Tangerine, Florida. Had a little restaurant called Carl's. Still there. Yeah. You know, I wanted to believe that that's where she went, but after a while, I kind of came to terms with the fact that if she left for a reason. You know, she didn't want to be my mother anymore. And she wasn't coming back. And now you know about my family. But, I still can't let you in my apartment.
Look, we don't have much time. I don't know when he'll be back. He cannot find me here talking to you. Oh my God. You're never gonna believe me. Okay, maybe you should sit down. Isaac is dead. Phil strangled him. He's dead, Steph. And he's on his way here right now, so I need you to believe me. He was so... I've never seen him like that before. He was... I mean, I knew he had a dark side, but he acted like it was nothing. He strangled him, and he acted like it was nothing. You know he's capable of it. I don't think he made it seem like Isaac wasn't even the first person he's killed. He's a sociopath. How could I not have seen that sooner? It was so stupid. I thought he was my friend. I thought that he cared about people. But the reality is, he doesn't care about anyone. He's a cold-blooded killer. How could I not have seen that? Or if I did, and I fell for him anyway, then what does that say about me?
Basic principles. No woman wakes up saying, God, I hope I don't get swept off my feet today. Now, she might say something like, this is a bad time for me right now. Or something like, I just need some space. Or my personal favorite, I'm really into my career right now. You believe that? And neither does she. You know why? Because she's lying to you. That's why. You understand me? Lying. It's not a bad time for her. She doesn't need any space. And she may be into her career, but what she's really trying to say is, get away from me now. Or possibly, try harder, stupid. But which one is it? 60% of all human communication is nonverbal. Body language. 30% is your tone. So that means 90% of what you're saying ain't coming out of your mouth. Of course she's gonna lie to you. She's a nice person. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. What else is she gonna say? She doesn't even know you. Yet. See, luckily, the fact is that just like the rest of us, even a beautiful woman doesn't know what she wants until she sees it. And that's where I come in. My job is to open her eyes. Basic principles. No matter when, no matter what, and no matter who, any man has a chance to sweep any woman off her feet. He just needs the right broom.
What do I want? What I want is to wake up and see my mom again. For things to go back to the way they were when my life made sense, but that's not gonna happen, and it's all my fault. My mom, the accident, the fact that she's dead, she got scraped off some highway because of me, because of my stupid audition, because she was rushing, because I made her promise to come. And when they called my name, I was mad at her because I needed her to be there for me, and she wasn't. She was dying while I was dancing, and I was mad at her, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She just wanted to be there for me, and that's what makes it so bad. She always wanted what was right for me. I wanted to be the prima ballerina I had to be, and I didn't care if it took all of our money and all of her spare time. It was my stupid audition and my stupid dream, and it killed her. All she ever wanted was for it to come true.
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by the sun of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean laid, buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our stunner autumns changed to merry meetings, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, grim-visaged war has smoothed its wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasings of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous-looking glass, I, that am so rudely stamped and want love's majesty to strut before an untumwambling nymph, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that even the dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why, I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight in pass away the time, lest spy my own shadow in the sun, and descant on my own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these fair well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days.
What happened?
You know, once, Colin and I did something we thought would be really funny. He hid out front while I ran to tell my mom that he had been hurt. You know, hit by a car or something really bad like that. And when she came running, he was supposed to jump out and surprise her. And then we all had this a great laugh. Me and my mom, we always loved a good laugh. I was about 8 or 9, and Colin, he was like 11. I don't remember how we came up with it, but, you know, sure enough, I start yelling and screaming, and my mom comes running out the house, and she's like, "Trish, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And when I told her, I mean, the look on her face, I mean, even when Colin popped up to show that it was just a joke, she couldn't stop crying. She held him close, you know, clutched him, you know. I was just a baby. I didn't get it then. But I get it now. Colin's dead. And no matter how hard I cry, he's not going to pop up and show me that it was just a joke.
So the question is, do I have a God complex? Which makes me wonder if this lawyer has any idea to the kind of grades it takes to be accepted to a top medical school. Or if you have the vaguest clue how talented somebody must be in order to lead a surgical team. I have an MD from Harvard. I am board certified in cardiothoracic medicine and trauma surgery, and I have been awarded citations from 7 different medical boards in New England. And I am never, ever sick at sea. So I ask you, when somebody comes into that chapel and they fall down onto their knees and they pray to God that their wife doesn't miscarry, or that their daughter doesn't bleed to death, or that their mother doesn't suffer acute neural trauma from post-operative shock, who do you think they are praying to? Now you go ahead and you read your Bible, Dennis, and you go to your church, and with any luck you may actually win the annual raffle. But if you're looking for God, he was in operating room 2 on November 17th, and he does not like being second-guessed. You ask me if I have a God complex? Let me tell you something. I am God.
Oh, say, can you see? By this dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at our twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. The rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does the star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Near this house at 4th and Grove, there's an intersection. I encounter it every day, and for 20 years now I've stood there pushing the little crosswalk signal button. And after pushing it, I stand there and stand there and stand there, waiting for the light to change. And the longer I wait, the more I push the button. Over time I've tried variations, pushing it in a syncopated rhythm, pushing it a certain amount of times, 7, 13, 29. Sometimes I thought it was dependent on the time of day or season or some complex citywide pattern known to only a select few. But through it all, for years now, I've stood there trusting in some invisible traffic signal logic. Until today. Today, I brought a crowbar. And after I removed it from the post, I unscrewed the plate and back and I looked inside. Nothing. Not a single wire. Just a lone button attached to nothing but the finger of a stupid pedestrian filled with hope and trust. I thought you should know this, and I take great pleasure in what I'm about to say. I knew it. All the years, all the times I stood out there and pushed that button until my finger ached, I knew it! We demand the illusion of involvement. Just give us a button, that's all we ask, because as long as we have a button to push, we assume that we're making things happen. But the truth is, the light changes when it wants to. We have nothing to do with it.
Let me get this straight. You asked me if you and I and my friends and my mother were all on a ship that was sinking, and I could only save one of you. Who would I save? And I said, I'd rather save my mother. And that's the wrong answer? How can that be the wrong answer? You can swim. She can't swim. She can't even doggy paddle. And no wonder why people don't do this premarital thing anymore. This is a pretty good reason. I'd leave counseling, seeing the dead bodies of my family and friends floating all around me. Bye, Jimmy. Bye, Vince. Ma. Nope, sorry, I can't save you. I'm married now. But it's okay, Mom. She's a lot like you. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Just throw it out. I know you're nothing like my mother, and at times you can't even stand to be around her. But the poor woman is dead, for Pete's sake. She's bloated and decaying on the bottom of the ocean floor. But to answer your question, I would save you. Even if my mother was screaming my name at the top of her old, tired, and soon-to-be decaying lungs, I would save you. Are you happy now?
Well, me and my friends were just kind of hanging out, Friday night main was warm out and all. So I look across the street, and I see my friend Theo. And then me and my friend Melody both go at the same time. Yo, Theo! And Theo comes over and he's all like, hey Nick, hey Mel, what's up? And that's pretty nice of him because his girlfriend was there too. And he kind of just ignored her, Anyway, we go, nothing much, we're just kind of hanging out, So Theo goes, well, I heard of a pretty good party across town. You want to, crash? So there we were at this party, and we're hanging out. And then we see this guy, and Jen goes, hey, that's Steven. I slept with him once. I don't know if she did or not. I think she just wanted to get Theo jealous because he's been, ignoring her, So Jen goes, yo, Steve. And Steve's like, yo, Jim, what's up? And that just about killed Theo. Because he told us about this party, and there's his girl talking to another guy. So Theo comes over to me, and he's all like, yo, this is, pissing me off. And I go, yo, well, Theo, you're ignoring her, and it's nasty. And he's like, oh, yo, you're right. So Theo goes over and starts talking to Jen, right? And they start to argue. And the argument got louder and louder. But I was not listening or anything. Then all of a sudden, Steve screams, you know, and his eyes like bug out, and his face turns all purple. And then he falls to the floor with somebody's knife in his back. It was horrible. And I was like screaming, you know? And then they had to drag me away and sit me down. And then all of a sudden all these cops come over and they were like, yo, you gotta testify. So you got me here in your dumb courtroom. And I've told you the story as best as I could. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what Theo did.
Can you? Can you wipe out that much red? Dracov's daughter, Sao Paulo, the hospital fire. Oh, Barton told me everything. Your ledger is dripping. It's gushing red, and you think saving a man no more virtuous than yourself will change anything? This is the basis sentimentality. This is a child at prayer. Oh, pathetic. You lie and kill in the service of liars and killers. You pretend to be separate, to have your own code. Something that'll make up for the horrors. Well, they're a part of you, and they will never go away. I won't touch Barton. No, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear, and then he'll wake up. He'll wake up just long enough to see his good work, and when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain. You mewling quim. You're a monster. Oh no. You brought the monster.
I didn't know what to do. So Satan taught me how to hotwire the van. My first thought was to get away, but the FDR was closed. So I headed west, took the Highland Tunnel, but there were cracks in it. And I thought to myself, this can't be right. I mean, the Hudson River was dribbling its way into the Highland Tunnel, and when I got out, I pulled off into a parking lot to contemplate exactly what I'd just seen. I could see across the river into the city, and there were cars just sliding off the West Side Highway, just disappearing into the Hudson. And Satan? Satan was in the passenger seat telling me, keep driving, head south, forget about it, get out while I could. And I was saying something back to him when a New York City cop taps on my window. Who you in there talking to, buddy boy? And I'm thinking to myself, what's a New York City cop doing in New Jersey? But I said, it's Satan, officer. He floated off my wallpaper, made me steal this van, which crippled a boy. At that point, the officer draws his gun, so I ripped out of there. Started back into the city, thinking they'd never follow me, but they did. The entire NYPD leapt into their cars and followed me into the leaking tunnel, except by this time, the cracks were bigger, and the water was rushing in. I hydroplaned the whole way through with hundreds of cops on my tail, blaring their sirens. I felt like the Pope. No kids. Sections of the tunnel were caving in behind me. Water was filling the entire place. The minute I flew up out, the river kicked in. The Hudson came crashing down, flooding the Highland Tunnel, and the NYPD, as if the waters parted, Red Sea falling in on the Egyptian army. And I was Moses, safe on the other side with my people. True story.
I saved my money for 3 weeks. I didn't buy anything. No comics, no crisps, no sweets. I went to a pet shop and I bought a tiny green snake instead. A grass snake, they called it. When I got home, I wanted to play with it. I was scared at first, but it was warm and soft. And I liked the way it wrapped itself around my fingers like an electric shoelace. Then I realised I couldn't keep it. Not as a pet, what would it eat? Where would it sleep? What would it do when I went to school? Stupid thing to buy, so I had to get rid of it. But how? So many thoughts occurred to me. I could bury it, flush it down the toilet, toss it from a tower block, But all the while, another thought was taking shape. A thought so wonderful it seemed the only thing to do. So I grabbed a frying pan and put it on a gas stove. Put some butter in the pan and turned the gas on full. The fat was just smoking and crackling. So I tossed the snake right in and it went spun round and round and round, and the skin burst off of it like the skin of a sausage. It took so long for it to die. I remember its tiny little mouth just open and closing, open and closing. Its little black eyes exploded. It's wonderful to watch. All that burning and peeling and scolding. So I grabbed a fork, poked the prongs right in its skin. Boiling black blood bubbled out of the holes. And when it finally died, I put it on a plate. Cut it into bite-sized pieces. Tasted it like greasy chicken. I ate it all. I licked the plate too. Then Mom came home. She saw I'd been cooking. She hit me. She didn't know about the snake. She was so worried about the pan being scorched, she said, "I guess I have to buy a new one." She never did. Look.
I'm not the kind of guy that spends hundreds on a last-minute flight to New York, tears across town, and runs up 6 flights of stairs to knock on my best friend's girlfriend's door in order to run off and elope with her based on one crazy, thoughtless, inexplicably romantic night. So what am I doing here, Audrey? I'm not passionate. I'm a fact checker, for Christ's sake. Soulmates? How can I be yours? You barely know me, and I barely know you. Now your boyfriend, I've known him since kindergarten. Am I really willing to throw all of these years of friendship away based on what? Some feeling that says I must be with you or I'll die? That only happens in the movies. But we're not in the movies. We are on McDougal Street, 2 blocks south of Bleecker. That's where we are. That is an indisputable geographical fact. And all the facts are pointing to one thing. We cannot do this. Because the fact is, you're in a relationship. Because the fact is, I just met you yesterday. Because the fact is, I'm not the kind of man that falls in love. That's a fact. But you see, the problem is, despite every fact I can muster, I still love you madly. And it just defies all reason. But I love you madly. And I don't want to. But I can't help it.
So I guess it's time for me to speak. What is there for me to say? After I'm done, you will sentence me for my crime. So let me ask you now, what is a crime? What is punishment? It seems to vary from time to time, place to place. What's illegal today is suddenly illegal tomorrow because some society says it so. And what was illegal yesterday is suddenly illegal because everybody's doing it. And you can't put anybody in jail. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it is. I've spent 3.5 years in your prison, and I think I paid for my error. And if it's your decision today to sentence me to more years, then my lawyer, that's a funny one. He tells me, be cool, Billy, be good, behave, and I'll get you a pardon, a this, a that. Well, this has been going on for 3.5 years, and I've been playing it cool. I've been good, and now I'm damn tired of being good, because you people lead me to believe that I had 53 days. You hung 53 days, and then you took those 53 days away. And you, boo! I wish you would be standing where I'm standing right now and feel what I'm feeling, because then you will know something that you don't know, Mr. Prosecutor. Mercy! You will know that the quality of a society is based on that mercy, its sense of justice, its sense of fair play. But I guess that's like asking a bear to shit in the toilet. For a nation of pigs, it sure is funny. You don't eat them. Jesus Christ forgave the bastards, but I can't. I hate you. I hate your people. And I hate your sons and daughters because they're pigs. You're a pig. You're all pigs.
We shall go living, Uncle Vanya. We shall live through a long, long chain of days and weary evenings. We shall patiently bear the trials which fate sends us. We shall work for others, both now and in our old age, and have no rest. And when our time comes, we shall die without a murmur. And there, beyond the grave, we shall say that we have suffered, that we have wept, that life has been bitter to us, and God will have pity on us. You and I, Uncle, dear Uncle, shall see life that is bright, beautiful, and lovely. We shall rejoice and look at all these troubles of ours with tenderness, with a smile, and we shall rest. Have faith, Uncle. Have fervent, passionate faith. We shall rest. We shall rest. We shall hear the angels. We shall see all heaven lit with radiance. We shall see all earthly evil, all our suffering drawn in mercy, which will fill the whole world. And our life will be peaceful, gentle, and sweet as a caress. I have faith. I have faith. Poor Uncle Vanya, you're crying. You have had no joy in your life, but wait, Uncle Vanya, wait. We shall rest. We shall rest. We shall rest.
I know I'm not as smart as you. You know, maybe I can't analyze and theorize and speculate on why we behave the way we do. You read all of those books, not me. But I do know one thing. I know how I feel. I know that I can stand here watching you try to destroy everything I've ever wanted in my life. Wanting to smash your face in with my fists because you won't make even the slightest effort to opt for happiness. And still know that I love you. That is always so clear to me. It's the one place I get all my strength from. You mean so much to me that I am willing to stand here and take all of your abuse and insults and insensitivity, because that's what you need to do to prove that I'm not going to leave you. I can't promise I'm not going to die, George. That's asking too much. But if you want to test me, go ahead and test me. If you want to leave, leave. But I am not the one who's going to be walking away. Now, I don't know if I can take it for forever, but I can take it for tonight. And I can take it next week. Next month, I may be a little shaky. But let me tell you one thing, George. I feel so good about myself. Better than I felt when I ran away from Cleveland and was frightened to death of New York. Better than I felt when I thought there was no one in the world out there for me. And better than I felt the night before we got married and I thought that I wasn't good enough for you. I am wonderful. I am nuts about me. And if you are stupid enough to throw someone sensational like me away, then you don't deserve as good as you've got. I am sick and tired of running away from places and people and relationships. You want me? Then fight for me. Because I am fighting like hell for you, George.
When my cue comes, call me and I will answer. My next is Most Fair Pyramus. Huh? Oh! Peter Quince, Flute the Bellows Mender, Snout the Tinker, Starveling. God's my life. Stone Henson left me asleep. I've had a most rare vision. I've had a dream. Past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if you go about to expound this dream. Methought I was... There is no man can say what. Methought it was... And methought I had... But man is but a patched fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, or his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream, and it shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I will sing it in the latter end of a play, before the joke. Peradventure, to make it the more gracious, I will sing it at her death.
Welcome to manhood. I'm here to make you all men. In here you'll be separated from the girls. The first thing you must do is to make a vow to never see another chick flick again. You're gonna have to check your tear ducts at the door. Next thing you must do is take your brain, place it right here. This rules your world. And right here is where you'll be making most of your decisions. From now on, you have no idea what shirt goes with what pair of pants. You have no concept of color. The only colors that you are aware of are the ones that are ribbed for her pleasure. You got that? You are not responsible for remembering any special dates. You don't know when you had your first kiss or what song you first danced to. You must only be able to use all power tools. You must use them to fix anything and everything in the house. There's nothing that you can't fix and nothing that you can't put together. You have power tools, not a broom and a dustpan. You're a man, not a housewife. There's nothing on the car that you can't fix. You must be able to change a tire, filter, spark plug, a belt, and the oil. And if you can't figure it out, you lift up the hood and keep looking at the engine until you do. You know how to get wherever you are going without the assistance of a map, a gas station attendant, or a police officer. You have built-in GPS. You're a man. You must know sports. You are the most intelligent being on the planet. Therefore, you must be able to talk about every single detail of sports. You must know every player on every team in the American League, the National League, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. You must also remember every statistic associated with these players on these teams. That includes knowing what college they went to, what team they played their rookie year with, what team they were traded to, and each and every team that they ever played for, and the year in which they were traded. You also need to know who was traded with them, who they traded for, as well as the amount they're earning at the time of the trade and after the trade. You will also need to be able to calculate and discuss whether or not each trade will result in a World Series, NBA, Super Bowl, or Stanley Cup championship. And if any of you are not to the task, you can go into the kitchen and bake me some cookies. Any questions? All right then, let's go out there and find us some pussy.
Before you punch me, there is something you should know. This woman that we're fighting over is no ordinary woman. No, you don't know how good you had it. If I'm going to die, I want the whole world to know how great she is. Why do you want me to shut up? You're afraid. You're afraid I'll say something that will hurt you. You're that sensitive. You're gonna cry, softy. Then listen. Punch me all you want when I'm done. Beat me to a pulp. But let me say how I feel. For her, do this one thing for her, she is worth it. Do you know about serendipity? Word too big for you. Maybe I should use 1 or 2 syllables while speaking to you. Serendipity means a happy accident or pleasant surprise, a fortunate mistake, specifically the accident of finding something good while not specifically searching for it. That's what our love was, a happy accident. We did not plan on this. She is amazing. She is so very good. She has made me happier than I thought was possible. Before her, it was like I was living in black and white, and suddenly she brought color to my world. And by some miracles, she chose me. She was the princess to my pauper, the Batman to my Robin, the Picard to my Wesley Crusher. She was so much better. And I was so unworthy. But yet, she wants me. By some miracle stroke of luck, she wants me. And her kisses will last me until death, which might not be that far off. Yes, we're talking about the same woman, you idiots! And now, you can punch me.
Fucking killed Chuck. I think. I mean, he's just laying out there. He's not moving. I don't even think he's breathing. Okay, I mean, I was just up on the roof with Marissa. You know, we're laughing and joking, and man, we were having a good time. I even told her how much she reminded me of Sandra Bullock and how much I loved Hope Floats. I mean, nobody loved Hope Floats. Who knew those would be the magic words? Next thing I know, our clothes are off and we're loosening roof shingles up like there's no tomorrow. I mean, there was kissing, touching, and biting, and then somebody starts beating on me. I mean, really wailing on me, growling. Yeah, growling. When I looked up, there's Chuck. And I'm like, what's the problem? And he's like, the problem, dude, is you're fucking my girlfriend. And I looked at Marissa and I'm like, whoa, you're somebody's girlfriend? And she was like, no. Well, then it turned out that Chuck just wishes she was his girlfriend. In actuality, she's his cousin or something, and how he has these feelings of guilt about wanting her. And then, well, to make a long story short, he starts crying. And apparently that ruined the mood because Marissa put her clothes back on, went back down through the window and back into the party. And I'm out there left with Chuck. Blubbering, whining Chuck. But then he starts on about how much of a fuck-up he is, and maybe he should just throw himself off the roof. And for a split second, I'm like, yes! Do it! Throw yourself off the roof! But I don't say that. You know, I say, hey, you know, you get the girl, buddy. You know, maybe just not your cousin, huh? And I give him a nice friendly pat on the back, a real nice, manly slap on the back. He looked heavy. Who knew he would go flying off like that? I mean, who knew he would go flying off the roof?
Cheryl. Stop with the dishes. You always go hide in the kitchen whenever we've got something to do with. You gotta take a look at this, okay? And stop with the rinsing already. You don't have to look at me. Just listen. I'm gonna say something. Now, I know there's a certain relationship between a mother and daughter, and I'm not all quite in there with it, that view, a woman's perspective. But I'm bringing something here too, you know? That daughter of ours has become a fine young lady. Wonderful, damn it! That doesn't mean she's just like you, or me, or gonna make the same choices to be happy. Isn't that what we want? What do you want? Or is it all about what you want? What makes you happy? I love that girl of ours, my daughter. That she's become this beautiful young woman with a mind of her own. Reasonable and willing to stand up for herself. Boy, do I want that. Even if I don't quite get it. Don't you? Don't you want that for her? Take her life up into your arms, Cheryl. Embrace her like you've done before. If you can't do that, make room for her in your heart, and you still say you love her, then I've got to reassess who you've become, that you can say you love somebody only to shut down on them and shut them out. Do that for my sake. She's being true to herself, Cheryl, and I'm with her on this. We have a responsibility to that. Cheryl, do you understand? I'm with her. And I'm going to have to start looking out for myself, too. What love means to you. You follow?
Oh, for mules of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, and gentles all, the flat unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this with an ode of very casks that did fight the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in his place 1,000,000, and let us ciphers to this great accompt on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined 2 mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Into 1,000 parts divide one man, and make imaginary persons. Think when we talk of horses, that you see them, printing their proud hoofs in the receiving earth. For 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings. Carry them here and there, jumping over times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass. For the rich supply, admit me, chorus to this history, who, prologue-like, your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play.
Did I kill Michael Washington? It's such a strong name. I'm sure somebody with a name like that would be very fond of themselves. Somebody who walks down the street and looks at their reflection in the shop windows. Someone who works on their fitness, takes much pride in what they look like in the mirror. So, if I would have killed a man like that, I could tell you how I'd do it. I'd probably tie him down to a table and prop his head up so he's looking down at his body. And then I'd break shards of glass from a mirror, and I'd slide him into his torso so he can see himself. If I killed him, that's probably how I'd have done it. But I don't think you should be asking, did I kill Michael Washington? I think the real question is, did he deserve to die?
Welcome back from the break. How'd you guys like those nachos? Yeah. Oh yeah, well you're not here for the fucking food. You are here for me to enlighten you, to edify you, to send you off into the now not so unknown future. So come along with me. How to fake like you are nice and caring. No, I don't want a microphone. Now this is quite an important chapter, as you will see. But let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. Let's get right down to it, boys. Let's get right down to it. Men are shit. What? Men are shit. So isn't that what they say? Isn't that what they say? Because we do bad things, don't we? Men do horrible, heinous, terrible things. Things that no woman would ever do. No, women, they don't lie. No, women don't cheat. Women don't manipulate us. You see what I'm getting at, don't you? You see what I'm getting at. See what society does. Boy, little boys. It's, wow, woman. And we are taught to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. What is it that... What is it, huh? That we need? Is it their pussies? Their love? Yeah, Mommy wouldn't let me play soccer, and Daddy... Ooh, he hit me, so... That's who I am. That's why I do what I do. Fucking bullshit. I will not apologize for who I am. I will not apologize for what I need. I will not apologize for what I want! Okay. Now, I want you to go to page 18 in your blue booklets, please. Why don't you do that right now? Go to page 18 in your... It's fucking bullshit! Why don't you go to your white books. Go to 23 in your white books. How to fake like you are a nice and caring person.
Wait. You see that? You see what that woman just did? Man, she got cold in the minute she saw us. Yo, come on, man. Look around you. You couldn't find a whiter, safer, or better lit part of the city right now. When you had this white woman sees two black guys who look like UCLA students strolling down the side. Her reaction is blind fear. Yo, dog, come on. Are we dressed like gangbangers? Huh? No. Do we look threatening? No. Fact. If anyone should be scared around here, it's us. We're the only two black faces, surrounded by a sea of over-caffeinated white people, patrolled by the trigger-happy LAPD. So you tell me, why aren't we scared?
I sold her a ticket that night. I only recognize her because we used to play Foursquare once together. She introduced herself. I didn't remember what we said, but she seemed sweet. I didn't know her last name until I saw that article in the paper. She was a sophomore in a journalism major. She was from Joliet. She had a younger sister named Caroline. I don't know why I remember all that. Her picture was black and white. It doesn't look like a school picture, but it more like a candid shot. She was smiling in that picture. But somehow she looked suspicious. I don't know why I'm telling you this. She was fine. That night she was fine. She doesn't look like a person who wants to commit a suicide. I couldn't have known anything different. I couldn't have known what she was thinking about. Then I didn't ask, did I?
Why are you doing this? Why? Isn't the universe big enough for the both of us? What is wrong with you people? We could work together. Why be enemies? Because we're different? Is that why? Think of the things that we could do. Think how strong we could be. The Earth and Mars together. There is nothing that we could not accomplish. Think about it. Think about it. Why destroy when you can create? We can smash it all, sure. Or we can have it all. Why can't we work out our differences? Why can't we work this out? Little people, why can't we all just get along?
It wasn't always like this. Ash falling from the sky like snow. The smell of rust burns my nose. I was told not to remove my gas mask. It was too late for that. The place where I lay my head. The rocks were sharp, coarse, and unforgiving. I can hear my skin screaming at me, but all I can do was stare at the sky. Grieving skies and scent of death. Close my eyes, take my breath. Hymn of the dead, they say. Some things you can only understand once you get there. Well, here I am. I'm not dead. I'm just dying.
One of the midnight duties was to get the morning meds ready. That meant making sure the right number of pinks and whites and blues and yellows were in the proper containers labeled for whoever got said pinks and whites and blues and yellows. One time I played musical chairs with everyone's meds for a week. Oddly enough, there was no noticeable difference in anyone's behavior. So, seeking an alternative to pharmaceutical therapy and just plain curious, I decided to see what would happen if I acted crazier than the residents. One day I served everyone a slice of cake batter. Another day I posted signs written in my own private language, Wiccanese. Regular staff didn't agree, but I say that did result in an improvement, if only because of a general increase in self-esteem. I mean, compared to me, they figured they were doing pretty good.
I am the arbiter of justice, the voice of God, placed here by our Lord Jesus Christ himself, to decide what is good and what is evil. I know what goes on out there. I hear it every day. You don't know. You've never seen the real thing. You have nothing to compare, no point of reference. You look at this thing we've asked you to do and you think, oh, that's evil. Somebody dies, murdered, bad. But when I look, do you know what I see? Do you want to guess? I see good. Because I'm looking at the big picture, the outcome, the end result. I'm not caught up in the minutiae. I mean, we're talking about a child. A living, breathing human being that will depend on you for everything. For life. For understanding. It will be your God-given responsibility to lead this child in the path of righteousness. To make him a soldier for God Almighty. What a gift you could give him, the Heavenly Father, from your own body. Can you think of anything more miraculous? And if somebody has to die to bring about this miracle, so be it. People have died before. It's not the first time. There are plenty of sinners clogging the streets. Drug dealers, pedophiles, rapists. We'll find someone who won't be missed. Someone who deserves to go. A degenerate. We're making the world a better place. Cleaning it up. Washing away the stains of one sinner and replacing it with goodness and light. An innocent soul. A child of Christ. Yours to shape and mold. What do you say? Is there anything evil in that?
I admire your courage. You see, normal men will lose sleep at just the fear of dancing with reapers. Fear, war, justice. That's your game, man. I dig it. You see, I have games too. See, war, oh, war. That's my favorite. See, I lose sleep at just the mere thought of those quivering hands waving those white flags high in the air. Now, son, I may advise you, do not let the devil in your backyard, because he may just like it and decide to stay.
They say you always remember your true love, and I remember mine. It lasted about 2 months, and it was really hectic. I like to say that I bumped into her, but she bumped into me so hard that I almost hit the ambulance, and it had 2 bodies that day. But thankfully it didn't happen. So after that, she bought me a cup of coffee, and after that we had one more date. And from then on, we had our honeymoon period. You know, the first month, that's a honeymoon period, and probably the most fun I've ever had in my life. We wake up, we put pepper spray in our eyes just for the kicks of it. We draw boobs and other stuff on our faces when we were asleep, and I don't know. Maybe other people don't find that funny, but I found that funny. She found that funny, which is why we were together for such a nice period of time. But then after that first month happened, something disconnected between us. I'm not sure what. I didn't really like drinking as much. She didn't really go out. So after a month and a half, we had a nice chat, and we told ourselves, well, one of us has to go out or one of us has to go down. What would you like to do? She looked at me and gave me a smile, like proper really nice smile. Next thing I know, I go out by myself, I get drunk, I come back. I don't know what happened between me coming back and the next morning, but I saw some blood on the floor. I saw a knife in my hand. I saw her body somewhere. And I just kept thinking, Well, at least I have the knife with me all the time.
Tell me, why is it that I'm so happy today? As if I were sailing with the wide blue sky above me and great white birds soaring in the wind. Why is it? Why? I woke up this morning, got up, and washed, and suddenly I felt everything in this world was clear to me. I felt I knew how life had to be lived. Dear Ivan Romanich, I can see it all. A man has to labor, whoever he happens to be. He has to toil in the sweat of his face. That's the only way that he can find the sense and purpose of his life, his happiness, his delight.
Actually, can I talk about the cat for a second? And Rhoda, don't, no disrespect here, but this is total bullshit. Go for it. You can do it. That's not inspirational. That's suicidal. Pickles goes for it right there. That's a dead cat. These are lies we're telling these people. We're liars. Think about, why do people buy these cards? It's not because they want to say how they feel. It's because they can't say how they feel. Or at least they're afraid to. And you know what? I say to hell with it. I say let's level with America for a second. At least let them speak for themselves for once. I mean, look at this. What's this one say? Congratulations on the new baby. How about congratulations on the new baby? Guess that's it for hanging out. Nice knowing you. Or this one with all the pretty hearts on the front. Oh no, this is a good one. Definitely a good one. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. I love you. Isn't that sweet? Ain't love grand? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, what does that mean, love? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Does anybody know what that means? If somebody gave me this card, I would eat it. It's these cards and the movies and the pop songs. They're to blame for the lies and the heartache and everything, and we're responsible. I'm responsible. I think we do a bad thing here. People should be able to say how they feel, how they really feel, like, not, you know, with a stranger putting words in their mouth. Words like love that don't mean anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I quit. There's enough bullshit in the world without my help.
Okay, one was shot with his death ray, and an appetizer. But I managed to get the cover. And then what does Baron von Rufus do? He starts monologuing. It starts just like prepared speech about how feeble I am compared to him and how inevitable my defeat is. Now the world will soon be his, yada 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 yada. Yammering. I mean, the guy has me on a platter and he won't shut up.